So guys, this is a video I've been meaning to make for quite some time now, and it's raining outside, so I have nothing else to do. Anyway, this is actually a custom beam that I made out of Plastistruct styrene, which in other words is plastic, as we all know. It's scratch built from different sized sheets, and just like you have a sheet of paper, they sell sheets of plastic. This isn't built with any tubing or any other plastic. It's completely scratch built. Everything you see on it is built from flat plastic, so you can imagine the difficulty. I made this beam for one specific reason, and it is to hang from my Manitowoc 18,000, because I did see the real one get lifted off a trailer in Manhattan, New York, and I actually stayed at a hotel overnight to see it because a friend of mine who works at the steel mill where it was produced told me it was coming in. The piece weighs in at 113 tons, which for a civil construction project is pretty impressive. Alone, it has 8 tons of weld material on it, so you can get an idea of the size. I believe it is 44 feet long, 12 feet tall, and around 3 feet wide. To see it in person in Manhattan, and Manhattan is primarily filled with humongous buildings, some with 100 floors plus, so stuff on the street doesn't look too large when you compare it to a building. But seeing this on the street and being able to touch it, it looked like an actual building. It was the biggest piece of steel I'll probably ever see for a civil construction project. Before I show you the video, I want to actually show you a couple of pictures here. And I don't know if it will be too hard to see, but here's the actual piece on the street when Jay Super, who was the people who hauled it, pulled up with it. I was on the 42nd floor of a hotel room, which is around 450 feet in the air, which was a great view to see it unload from. And even from up that high, you could see the load pulling, and it was just huge. This side right here is this side, and that's the truck that'll hold it on. And here's what it looked like if you walked on the other side of the street. You could tell it's just humongous. And that's what it looked like from above in the hotel room. And if you walk by it. Anyway, I also got the trailer, the model of this trailer, to only hold this beam. Obviously, I'll use it for other stuff, but if I didn't see the trailer and I didn't make this beam, I would never got the trailer. Anyway, while I was building it, I actually realized that if you look at it, it's an I-beam. It's got the web and then the flanges, and I never noticed that until I built it. Overall, to build it, it only cost like 30 bucks. It actually might have cost cheaper. It was probably around 25 bucks to build. It took around a week, and it was challenging to build. I don't want to give any dimensions that I used for the model, because to be honest with you, I really don't want, other people producing it, because it would kind of take away the rarity and I guess the fun it was to build, and to say, like, I seen that piece and I built it, and not to see a million of them around everywhere. But the way I did it was I constructed the web on an I-beam. The inner is called the web, and then the flange is up top first. What I actually did was I put the bottom flange on, and then the top flange is one of the last pieces to put on. Once I had the web and the bottom flange on, I constructed all these bracings or ribs that you see coming up and down. And why I didn't put the top flange on was for one reason, and I'll get to that in a second. All these right here are flat pieces of plastic that I made into, I guess you could say, a triangle with one side missing. And then once I had these in, I put another piece there going that way. Then I put one up top, covered it over. It was very challenging to build. The last major piece that I put on was the top flange, because when you cut the plastic, it's probably almost impossible to get it completely straight, especially plastic of this thickness. It's probably around 32nd or 1/16 of an inch thick, which is pretty thick for some styrene. And when I put it on, I had to press in certain spots because it wasn't cut exactly perfect. This is the side that when they installed it actually faced the east, and then the other side faced the west. This was the north, that was the south. Over here is the other side. This side isn't as detailed as the other. Reason being is this side of the piece, if you see, it's got all these little connectors. I don't know if it's possible to tell, but all the little connectors actually connected to other I-beams. And what this piece does is it rests on a super column, which is a 225-ton column of steel. It had to be delivered in pieces. It was welded on site. If anyone ever seen the documentary on Discovery Channel, Rebuilding Ground Zero, it's the episode with the transit hall. This piece right here rests on a bearing that was installed on the super column, and it pretty much just rests on it. This piece right here is part of a truss, and it almost like makes an arch bridge with the truss, and then the pieces connect on top. It was very complex to build. It looks awesome hanging from the 18,000. I usually display it with this side because you see this side is kind of plain, and there wasn't really any steel to attach to there. I do have videos of it being unloaded and the video of the real one, which I'm going to put in the description of this video if you want to check it out. I thought I would have had more to say about this. I really don't have much more to say. These right here are the lifting lugs, obviously, when they did lift it off the trailer. When they did move it in the hub, which is the foundation, it floated the 18,000's maxer. That's how big of a radius it was. Like I said, there's 8 tons of weld material, and anyone that's a welder will know that's a lot of weld. I don't know how long it took to build. I never actually got that detail on it. It was transported on a 10-line trailer. It came over the GWB, for anyone that's local, which is George Washington Bridge, and it came down the West Side Highway. And this piece, another significant reason why I built this piece is because this is the largest ever single piece of structural steel ever in New York City. The super columns are also one piece of steel, but it was never actually trucked to the site in one piece. It was 3 separate pieces. This 113-ton beam is probably and will be forever the largest piece of steel ever trucked in Manhattan, besides, transformer loads and everything. So it's more of a thing that a local thing that than a like a nationwide thing. But it's really cool. One thing that I still don't realize, I don't hang it much from the 18,000. I think it's because I actually built a super column that I hang from the 18,000. But I love displaying this with my Pete 379, which is blue, obviously not the same color as the real one. But I really enjoyed displaying this with my Pete 379, like this one right here has. And it was just really awesome to see. The only thing different is the trailer that Jay Super hauled it on wasn't a Goldhofer. It was, I forget the... It was a Nicholas 10-line trailer, but it did have the 6 and then the 4-line, and it had a pull bar, and I'm surprised it didn't have a push truck. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Check out the links in the description if you want to see the real piece, because I'm sure, if someone's seeing this for the first time, they're probably going to ask, what the hell is that? But, to give some other views of it. I did miss out on some things, but there were things that I just really couldn't incorporate into it. But hope you enjoyed this video, and I have 2 other loads that I built. One was pretty sophisticated, one was really simple, that I'm also going to make videos on, so I hope you enjoyed this.